The second defence of Israel Adesanya's middleweight title reign was the demolition of Paulo Costa at UFC 253. At the time of this fight, Costa was a well-established pressure fighter who used mostly jabs, snap kicks and straights to the body to back his opponents up to the fence, from where he'd explode and rip powerful combinations. To combat this, Adesanya put a strong emphasis on cagecraft, or in other words, his positioning relative to his opponent in defence. Adesanya adopted an even stance and stayed light on his lead leg so he'd be more mobile and find it easier to check Costa's leg kicks. He focused on keeping his lead foot in line with Costa's centre line so he would always be in position to throw and defend against strikes and to quickly take outside angles. Adesanya often used L steps to take outside angles on Costa, which would force Costa to turn and plant his weight on his lead leg to face him, leaving him vulnerable to Adesanya's calf kicks. Whenever Adesanya found himself backed behind the infamous black line near the fence, he used hop steps to feint exits and trick Costa into committing to one side before exiting the other side and regaining control at the centre of the cage. Beyond his footwork, Adesanya used several other tools to prevent Costa from pressuring him and to force Costa back himself. Adesanya focused on lead hand control to largely nullify Costa's jab because he knew it was one of his main tools for closing the distance and that Costa lacked depth in his striking at range. He used a combination of jab, rear shoulder and rear hip feints to force Costa back and keep him guessing what was next, and he also used committed jabs, calf kicks and oblique kicks to punish Costa whenever he tried to close the distance and plant weight on his lead leg. Adesanya's jabs and calf kicks played off each other and built on his feints early on in the fight. As Costa became more aware of Adesanya's outside leg kick, Adesanya started throwing inside leg kicks as well. Towards the latter stages of the first round, he started building off his rear hip feints and inside leg kicks to set up and throw head kicks and open side body kicks. By the time round 1 was over, Adesanya had already established several threats that worked together to shut Costa's game down and accumulate damage. His lateral movement kept Costa turning to face him and eat calf kicks, his jab dissuaded Costa from closing the distance, and his left head kick kept Costa's rear hand occupied and dissuaded him from slipping to the outside. All of these threats on top of Adesanya's cohesive feints left Costa worried, desperate and impatient, and this was on full display in the second round as Costa's entries became more and more rushed, predictable and sluggish. With just over a minute left in the round, Adesanya used a couple of rear hand feints to enter the pocket. Costa pulled away from the first feint and reacted to the second one by throwing a jab, which Adesanya slipped inside and countered with a right hand over Costa's shoulder. The right hand didn't really land, but it didn't matter because Costa was left defenseless in front of Adesanya, who didn't waste any time swinging a left hook that clipped Costa on the ear and finished the fight. The goal for Adesanya in this fight was to avoid being pressured back to the fence, keep Costa at kicking range, use feints and a wide variety of strikes to make him second guess himself, chop at his legs to accumulate damage over time, and force him to become desperate, lose patience and make a punishable mistake. When you consider what his goal was and how the fight played out, it's safe to say Adesanya's game plan and execution of it was nothing short of elite.